Hello everyone, welcome back to the IndieGeekGuy channel. We're back with some more Hannibal. Last time on we had a very Hannibal focused episode, to be honest. We got to peek behind the curtain of the man, what might be going on in his brain, what motivates him, is he feeling lost or lonely at all? We also got introduced to his psychiatrist and where that might be going, and he also got inspired to make a banquet, to have a feast of all his friends come over, and you know what that means? Lots and lots of death. There was also the framing of one of Hannibal's patients who is trying to be friendly with him, trying to see him as not just his psychiatrist or a patient relationship. He wants to be friends with Hannibal, and Hannibal is just pushing that away. I don't know how much longer that guy's going to live if he keeps pushing for that. But there was a parallel with that in terms of Hannibal and him seeking friendship with his psychiatrist in a way, and his seeking to have Will be more attuned to him, and maybe wanting to reveal what he really is to Will and to have him be accepted for who he is. And you know, it was just sort of playing with all those kind of ideas and themes, and I'm interested to see where all of that's going to go. Jack is still absolutely obsessed with the Ripper. Hannibal loves this and is enjoying playing with him. But yeah, overall we're spinning a lot of plates at the moment. They're all interesting. We've got the Abigail thing still going on as well. So yeah, I'm interested to see what this episode's going to be, what we're going to discover next, and just how much weirder the show can get. But before we jump into the next episode, please remember to hit the thumbs up button if you do enjoy the reaction and the review that happens afterwards. Also, subscribe if you don't want to miss any future videos, and also support the channel that way. There are social links down below, including the Discord server and my Twitch channel. We're streaming over there fairly regularly on the weekends and sporadically on the weekdays, so make sure you're not missing any of those. Go over there, follow the Twitch channel, and you'll get notified. But that's everything. Let's jump into the next episode of Hannibal, see where this dark, twisted rabbit hole takes us next. I swear nothing better happened to Will's dogs. I'll be really upset if something happens to any of them. All of them, any of them. That definitely sounds like a howling dog. Have I jinxed this already?
These strings are harder to bow than the regular ones.
You have to learn how to bow authentic strings.
Are they really made from cat guts?
Not always.
Oh my god, did this guy make cellos out of people? This guy's making instruments out of people. Well, you think you've seen it all. And then this happens. Is that why fucking Hannibal gave him such a weird look? In the other episode, he was like, I know what you are. I'll look you in the eye. I know what you are.
You just don't seem like you date.
Oh, too broken to date.
Wow, he's turning on the sarkiness today, huh?
I found myself looking at my friends through your eyes. I become you.
That's not a good thing to do. I mean, you don't realize it, but it's not good.
I'd like to talk about Tobias. Perhaps you can help me analyze him.
I'm not analyzing your friend. I'm analyzing your perception of him. You could be projecting onto him what you consider to be your flaws. You're not a psychopath, although you may be attracted to them.
Yep, that sounds a lot more accurate. Oh shit, did he hit the wrong note? What happened?
You shake it off. Get to work.
Oh boy, Jack. Sometimes you're just blind to things, aren't you? I get it, you're obsessed. Not in a healthy place. But it is pendulum time, baby.
I opened his throat from the inside using the neck of a cello. I wanted to play him. I wanted to create a sound.
Oh, did he like start going across his throat? Come on now. Oh, it's weird. It's so weird. Oh, it's making my throat go all weird. Oh, what a visual. What a fucking visual. Just lean into the craziness.
I hesitated to even bring up the subject of an obsessive patient. because of your traumatic experience.
I'm your psychiatrist. You're not mine.
It must be complicated, psychiatrist on psychiatrist. Like, how would... Like, you could not analyze how your psychiatrist is psychiatristing you. That's not a word, but you get what I mean.
To open you up to get a decent sound out of you.
Alright, dial it back, Will. Dial it back. Just...
This is a skilled musician trying a new instrument.
Is that necessary? Is it really necessary? Oh, I'm bored of the cello. Let me play a human being instead. Like...
You said the killer was performing. Who was he performing for?
I don't know. Another killer?
It's a serenade.
Was it Hannibal? That's the question. Was it Hannibal? Was he trying to impress Hannibal?
Whose throat was cut and played like a violin. Because he knows I tell you.
It was a performance for Hannibal, but he did it through him. There's fucking backwards mind games that are going on.
Seems we're both comfortable playing between conventional notes. I hear the symphony is looking for a new trombonist. It's an unfortunate way to leave the symphony, yes, but I can't help thinking the orchestra will be better for it.
At least the brass section.
Oh my god, these fucking two.
What brings you here looking for that?
Jesus.
My harpsichord needs new strings.
We're saying everything, but not actually saying it out loud. Okay. Fuck me. He just tore a hole out.
This might have been a raccoon.
Might have been.
You hearing shit, mate. You're hearing shit.
Might not.
Okay. This is happening now, apparently. Maybe this will help. Maybe this will help him. Or, like I say, Hannibal gets super fucking jealous.
You wouldn't be good for me, and I wouldn't be able to stop analyzing because I have this professional curiosity. If I were my patient, my advice to me would be don't do this.
Oh boy, but I feel like if he was with someone who could support him, it would be good. It would be good for him. And Alana would be good, but she's got to be honest, I guess.
Did you kill that trombonist?
You really have to ask?
You want to get caught?
I want them to try. They'll send men to investigate and I'll kill them. Then I'll find Franklin and kill him. I was going to kill you.
What stopped you from wanting to kill me?
This is such
Why
a
have you stopped?
incredible conversation.
After I followed you one night, out of town, to a lonely road, to a bus yard.
He saw you do it. He saw you do some shit.
I could use a friend. Someone who can understand me.
And we're back to this.
Thinks like I do.
Circling back round to this whole thing.
But I don't want to be your friend.
Then why did you invite me here for dinner?
To kill you.
I was going to kill you.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh, the tension. The tension is so taut.
I heard an animal trapped in my chimney. Lana showed up. She looked at me. She knew.
Connections,
What did
baby.
you know, Will?
People just want these connections.
There was no animal in the chimney. It was only in my head.
Yep.
Are you still hearing this killer's serenade behind your eyes?
I know it shouldn't. I know it shouldn't, but the show makes me fucking hungry. Like, is that bad? They purposely shoot all the food to look, like, glorious, so it's the show's fault, okay?
A patient told me today he suspects a friend of his may be involved with the murder at the symphony. He owns a music store in Baltimore, specializing in string instruments. Perhaps you should interview him.
Oh, God. Well, thankfully, that scene just didn't turn into fucking carnage, which I thought it might have done.
Whose friendship are you considering?
Oddly enough, a colleague and a patient.
Will Graham.
He's nothing like me. We see the world in different ways, yet he can assume my point of view.
It's nice when someone sees us, Hannibal.
That's what I'm
The
saying.
ability to see us.
He wants someone to see him. He's hearing things again.
Something wrong?
He's hearing dead dogs. Keep it together, Will. Keep it together. Keep it together. He did say he was going to kill the people who came to investigate him, so, we need you on your A game right now.
Sorry about that.
You already done it? Did you fucking take those cops out? Now I don't know if I can trust what Will... Oh, God. Can I trust what Will's seeing? That's the problem. I mean, this seems like a kind of a stupid play by the guy here, Tobias. Like, he knew Will would come back in, but I guess that's what he is hoping for, maybe? Eesh. Eesh. Shoot him in the head! Shoot him in the head! There we go. There we go. Oof. Ah, it's gotta hurt the ears. Owie, owie. There's no way he gets away, right? There's no way Tobias gets away.
I just killed 2 men. The police came to question me about the murder.
Oh, at least he's honest, I guess. Jesus.
Franklin, I want you to leave now.
Stay right where you are, Franklin.
Franklin needs to go. You need to go, dude. Jump out the window safely, of course, but leave.
You probably feel like you're all alone.
I'm not alone.
Oh,
That's right, you're
God.
not alone.
Oh, God. Hannibal's gonna kill both of these fuckers.
That you and I can't.
Yep. Knew that was gonna happen at some point.
I was looking forward to that.
Yep, that's why he did it. He told you to leave, Franklin, alright? He told you to get out. What the fuck is this? We're going fucking ninja now? What the fuck is going on? Oh! Fucking tanking it. Jesus. That'll do it. That'll fucking do it. Jesus. The moves. I mean, does he have to clear this up? He could just say it was self-defense, right? I mean, it technically was self-defense, really, other than killing Franklin, but... He's so happy to see Will.
Franklin knew more than he was telling me. He told Mr. Budge that he didn't have to kill anymore. And then he broke Franklin's neck. And then he attacked me.
Dragged you into my world.
I got here on my own. But I appreciate the company.
Best buddies! If only you fucking knew, Will. Which you eventually probably will. It's coming.
Will you ever feel comfortable returning to psychiatric work?
This is psychiatric work.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. She just specializes in Hannibal. That's her job now?
I can't help feeling responsible for what happened to Franklin.
Every person has an intrinsic responsibility.
I wonder why.
to their own-
Did you take responsibility when you were attacked by your patient?
Yes.
Okay. There's a lot to fucking wrap my head around this time. Jesus. Alrighty, another good one there. There's a lot to unpack. It sort of continues the themes that were built up last time, but sort of climaxes them, I guess. So the theme we've been building in terms of Hannibal's mindset and motivations and what interests him, it really started to come to the forefront here in a very just blunt way. Like, he opened up about the fact that Will is someone he wants to be friends with, wants to be connected with, wants to be seen by, and obviously that probably means his whole self, like his true nature, and to be understood, and that's what's appealing. But it's also what's appealing about Will is how different Will is from him, like how his worldview is completely different. And yet, even though his worldview is completely different to Hannibal's, he has this innate ability to understand him, and that's what makes Will appealing to Hannibal, which is it's an interesting thing. And like the way it was framed is that he respects the smarts, and obviously we had Hannibal's psychiatrist here putting it in such a way of, you've built up these walls for a long period of your life, and now you're seeking someone who can climb them and find you on the inside, and that's what he desires. And you know, it was just very upfront about that whole thing. And you know, it's definitely been something we've talked about in the previous episodes about their relationship, how it sort of started off as kind of an experiment for Hannibal and trying to push Will and torture him to an extent to see how far he would go and to see what he would figure out. And now we're sort of at that tipping point where Hannibal's done the experiment. He sort of sees Will for who he is, and we had a wonderful little moment here where Hannibal was genuinely joyed to see Will walk through the door, which was just a really interesting beat. Like, there was like zero pretense to it whatsoever. It was like a very genuine moment, which another note on this episode is that it's, you know, at this point it's becoming harder to tell when Hannibal is just lying for his teeth for his own gain versus is he actually talking about his deeper feelings at times. Like him saying, I can't help but feel responsible for Franklin's death. It's, you know, it's an inherently funny line. But it also, there could be a deeper meaning there in terms of, did he necessarily want Franklin to die? Maybe not. He's just kind of an inconvenience and sort of removed him, even though he at first was like, you need to leave, okay? Leave or this isn't going to go well for you. He like, the moment he walked back and was like, he's lining himself up. He's lining himself up to get rid of Franklin, to off him if he doesn't leave this room when instructed to do so, and that's exactly what happened. And in that moment, to me, it came off as Hannibal was like taking away the prize murder from Tobias, like just to basically get a rise out of him more than anything. Because Hannibal and Tobias's relationship is like the opposite end of the scale to what Will and Hannibal's relationship is. It's that Tobias and Hannibal are too similar. They're too on the same playing field, and Hannibal kind of discovered that to be a threat, but especially when he sort of heard what Tobias's plan was, is like, okay, you've just been stupid about this, it seems like, because if you get caught, if you get outed, you're putting me at risk, and I don't appreciate that. So I've invited you here to kill you because I can't be dealing with that. They've been getting too close to me in recent years as is. I'm not letting your stupid fuckery get me killed or caught or whatever the situation might end up being. But it was kind of interesting how Hannibal seemed to be at odds with it. Like he was kind of like, I should want to be friends with this guy, but at the same time, no, I don't. He's just too much of a flight risk and too similar to me. And yeah, and that it was interesting. It was interesting to sort of put the two relationships up against one another, and it just helps push why Hannibal would be so interested in Will. Speaking of Will, some interesting things going on there. He's starting to just hear dying animals, trapped animals, mainly dogs, it seems like, because he obviously has an affinity for dogs and stray animals and wanting to look after them and all that. But yeah, he's going down the rabbit hole, getting too reliant on the drugs he's taking to shake it off. Jack isn't helping. Jack's just like basically what Jack is doing is every time he's having these kind of, I don't know, psychological attacks, Jack's just like, yo, just shake it off, all right? Grow a pair, all right? Get on with the job. That ain't gonna end well, is it? Which is, again, a part of Jack's character, is that he bottles everything up, seemingly. Like, Jack doesn't really express himself, because obviously previous episodes we saw that he is worried about the path he's chosen and that it might lead Will down the same fate as his old trainee, but he's never actually going to say that out loud. He's certainly not going to say it to Will. It's an interesting dynamic. Obviously, I feel like the way that's going to play out is that Jack's going to push Will too far. Hannibal's not going to like that, and yeah, then that's going to come to a head somewhere down the line, because obviously here we've got very overt Hannibal wants Will's friendship and probably feels protective of him in the same way he was expressing he feels protective of his therapist because he has a respect for her and all of that stuff. So when it feels like Jack's obsession isn't necessarily just purely about capturing the Ripper, who is Hannibal, but also he puts Will in danger in any way, he's gonna take that out on Jack rather than Will, if that makes any sense. At least that's where my gut's going at the moment. It was interesting that like there was an exchange of looks in the previous episode between Tobias and Hannibal, and I thought, well, that's a bit weird. It's as if there's looking into each other's souls a little bit, and it was a bit of an odd moment. I didn't really bring it up because I was like, maybe it's nothing. But but then we get an episode which is wholly about that, basically that initial exchange of looks. So maybe I should just be on board with this now, that there isn't a moment wasted in this show. Everything is done by design, on purpose, and is giving you clues about what is going on, which, I feel like in general I've been pretty good about picking up on. And like I said, I did notice it. I just didn't think we'd get like some sort of episode entirely surrounding it so immediately afterwards, I guess. I don't know. The fight between Tobias and Hannibal was interesting because it was like obviously a fight for survival, but they both seemed to be enjoying it in their own ways. But I guess, that's what it is when you're a serial killer. You kind of get off on that, I guess. I guess that's how that works. I guess the metaphor there is kind of Hannibal fighting himself in a way, fighting a version of himself at least, or a part of himself. I assume the part that is, relishes in the murder and the game of it all and all of that kind of stuff. And it's an interesting idea to give a metaphorical thing inside Hannibal's mind a physical presence in that way, and to have him literally fight it off at the end. It's an interesting way of going about visualizing that story beat. On top of all that stuff, we had Will and Alana Bloom, their relationship going into complicated areas where Will is like, I want this, but it's kind of like he's seeking an anchor amongst all these like hallucinations he's having. He's looking for something secure and solid that he knows he can rely on, and he sees that in Alana. But Alana's like, I can't help myself. I know my own mind. I know I just want to analyze you, and that would not be healthy for us to have in a relationship. I'd be too focused on that. And she's been kind of saying this the whole time, that she wants to be his friend, and she feels like if she either gets too close or is in a room alone with him, she'll just start analyzing him, because it's just the way her mind works. And she was upfront and honest about it. It's just kind of like gut-wrenching in a way that you're like, he needs it. He needs solid ground, because everything is so shaky around him at the moment. He's just reaching out for help, essentially. And at the moment, oddly enough, Hannibal seems to be the only one trying to provide that help in a way that is concrete. I mean, Alana is helping. She just knows being in that kind of intimate relationship would not end well for either of them. So, it was interesting. It was an interesting sort of thing to bring up, and it was obviously like the show is teasing, like, oh, they like each other, but would it really be the best thing? So I don't know. I feel like that will still be continued to explore as the episodes go on, in terms of how they see each other and how they want to be with one another, and keeping each other at arm's length, but also wanting to be intimate, and how that all going to play out. I did kind of love Hannibal's reaction, because I just sort of went off the, is Hannibal going to be jealous about the two people he's friendly with, like, getting it on? Is that where this is going to go? But I don't know. I feel like that, as I say, is still going to be explored as we continue onwards. So there isn't really a concrete, this is where this is going just yet. It's just like in the air. There's a thing happening, and we'll just have to wait and see where it goes, kind of thing. There was some interesting directional choices, like a lot more of the stuff in Hannibal's office was shot in the dark, like in lower lighting settings, which was interesting. Like pretty much all of it, all the conversations with Franklin, the conversations with Will, and these were even like the ones that were taking place during the day. There was obviously some night stuff as well, but during the day they were making that office look darker. I guess it's the foreboding nature of what happened at the end, sort of like it's signifying that that's going to be happening, and the mindsets of the people in that room in that moment, as Franklin is getting more perturbed by the fact that Hannibal won't be his friend, and he's also concerned about Tobias, what he's been saying to him, and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was just an interesting directional choice, lighting choice to do that, because obviously Hannibal's little pad, his little therapist pad, has had a kind of gothic-y kind of nature to it the entire time, but this was the first time it was purposely lit in such a like overshadowing kind of way, like that you could barely see the top of the room because it was just dark. So yeah, I just thought that was some interesting visual language that they were using. But no, another good one. It just rolled on by, this one, I have to say. It was very pacey. Yeah, it just sort of just kept snapping along, this one, and yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a good time, another more Hannibal focused episode, which I enjoyed. I enjoy getting to see Hannibal at the forefront in this way and being explored in this way. And I did kind of think during the fight sequence, imagine Anthony Hopkins doing this scene, like having like a kung fu battle with a celloist, and let's imagine how that would go. The show just seems to keep going from strength to strength, which is what, you know, you love to see. You love to see that. It's a show continuing to improve upon the episodes as it goes along and getting more rich as it goes along. So yeah, continuing to enjoy myself with this. Thank you for watching this episode, guys. If you enjoyed it, please press the thumbs up button. Helps me know you liked it. Helps it get seen by more people. Also consider subscribing so you don't miss any future videos, and that will also help support the channel. There are social links down below, including Twitch, so go over there and follow so you don't miss any gameplay live and hang out in the chat. But other than that, thank you for watching. I will catch you on the next one.